Welcome to Envision Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success presents The Momentum Shift. A show where we get inspired, we get moving, and we get results. Every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with your host, Eric Collier. He's the mayor of motivation and mental quicksand expert, bringing you inspiring interviews and empowering stories that will help to improve lives. If you're ready to start making the impossible possible, then you've joined the right show, because the momentum shift is what you've been looking for.
If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
There we go. Yeah.
Number two, let me tell you the levels of the game here. Let's say you surround yourself with 5 people that make $20,000 a month.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good room.
Yeah, that's a nice room.
Yeah. Until you get in a room with people who make $20,000 a day.
There we go. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
That's huge.
Right?
Yes.
As opposed to people you just keeping around you just because you know them since you was young.
Right.
Y'all live in the same place. If they ain't, and here's the other thing too, people have to challenge you.
Yeah.
If your friends are not challenging you to be better,
right,
forget about it. Find some new friends.
Hey, Momentum Shift podcast and radio show listeners, this is your host, C. Eric Collier, and I've got something for you. I want to share this game-changing streaming service with you. Go to LrodTVNetwork.com. That's LrodTVNetwork.com. It's a minority-owned streaming channel that's got it all. Exclusive talk shows, podcasts, and live streams you won't find anywhere else. And the best part, it's affordable. Just $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year. But as a special thank you to my amazing listeners, use the code SHIFT at sign up to get 25% off until August the 1st, 2024. And now it's only $4.50 for your first month or $45 for your first year. And guess what else they're giving you? They're giving you a 7-day free trial to try it out. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. Head over to LrodTVNetwork.com. That's LrodTVNetwork.com and sign up now. Trust me, your entertainment routine will thank you. Are you still here? Hey, go to LrodTVNetwork.com and get signed up right now. Welcome to the Momentum Shift, a show where we get inspired, get moving, and get results. My name is Eric Collier. I'm a veteran of the United States Army and Navy. I'm a 2-time Amazon International best-selling co-author, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I love helping people, and I love coaching people. And I've done that successfully for over 20 years because I really want to see people win. And there is no greater feeling of joy than to witness someone who has just experienced that aha moment go on and change their lives and start doing what they thought was impossible and turning it into what is possible for them. So my goal, my mission each week is to simply do this: help improve lives. That's all I want to do. Help you improve your life, because you deserve to live in the greatness that is you. Now, every Friday, I want you to be ready. I want you to be ready for either an interview of these incredible people, a solo episode with myself, or maybe a remix of multiple interviews of these incredible, inspiring people. Begin. The goal is simply to help improve lives, and we're going to leave you with some nuggets for success. It's going to help you create that momentum shift that's going to really change your life. But don't stop there. I want you to go over to Apple Podcasts. I want you to subscribe, and I want you to leave feedback, because that feedback, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to help to improve the show in the future, because I really want to give you what you need to get that momentum shift in your life so that you can get going with making that impossible possible for you. So I'm really grateful to have you join me. I'm looking forward to having your feedback and helping to improve the show. And the one thing I'm really grateful about is I get to hear your stories of how you created that momentum shift that changed your life. So get ready, because the momentum shift is what you've been waiting for. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Momentum Shift. a podcast, radio, and TV show designed to help you break through the barriers to your success so that you can unlock your true potential and create momentum shifts that lead to you living in the life that you once believed to be impossible. Hello, I'm Eric Collier, also known as the Mayor of Motivation, and I'm happy to be here today because I have a guest with me that will help you really break through some of the challenges that you're facing right now. When you look at the adversity you have, or you look at the goals that you're set for yourself, and you wonder why you're just not progressing, my guest, Nichols, aka the Habit Strategist, is here to help you with some tips and tools, some methods to restructure, transform your mind around the idea of tiny habits. So with that, I want to introduce my guest. I almost called you Tiny. I apologize. Ty Nichols. Ty Nichols to the show. Ty, thank you for joining us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. And I really appreciate it.
I'm sorry, man. But I'm excited to have you on the show because when you look at momentum shifting and you know, it's about getting victories. Small victories help get that momentum going. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we go through, I've heard you talk about it in some of your podcasts, or excuse me, podcast interviews, where you set this goal at the beginning of the year. We all know how that goes. Like by week 1, week 2, everybody's stopping. And so I want to hoping that you can really help people understand that. But let's first start with my favorite question, right? And that is, what is momentum shifting to you, and how has it reshaped your life?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think that when I think about momentum and I think about that momentum shift, it's almost like coming into alignment with your true self. Okay. Right? And then going in that direction. Oftentimes, we have all of these college students, we have all of these, even adults out here that are working so hard and they're doing so many things, but they have no direction as to where they're going. Gotcha. Where to put all of this energy and momentum, right? But when you can get clarity, you can shift your momentum in one direction and go. Yeah. For example, even as I come, so a lot of my friends graduated college and they got all of these degrees. And out of all of my friends, 2 of them, I mean, we're talking about 20 people, 2 of them are doing what they went to school for. Okay. Right? And one of them is my wife, who's in education, and my friend's wife, who's also in education. Okay. Right? Yeah. So to me, it means figuring out and getting that clarity and putting everything you have in that direction, and it's going to build. Too many people try to be, jack of all trades. Gotcha. Right? Rather than being a master of one. If you can take all that energy and put it in one direction, sky's the limit. Yeah, I like it, man. And I following your story, man. When we talked, you talked about, we say you lost 200 pounds. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. And that was through changing your mindset about what you were doing, right? Yeah, I mean, it literally changed everything. So here's how that kind of happened. So how did I even get there? Okay. All right. So it all started with high school football. It actually even started before then. So I originally grew up in Philadelphia. Okay. Right? All right. Me and my mother moved to Maryland when, I was younger, maybe 10 or so. And my father always said he was going to move here, but it wasn't happening. Okay. Right? Got you. So this is, single mother situation, right? Uh-huh. Got to high school, and what you'll see oftentimes is coaches and other Black teachers will take on some of these, fatherly roles, right? Right. So Coach Wyatt, and I was already big and strong, so he's like, play football. Gotcha. Okay. So he had a lot invested in me. He was, he was taking me to the gym because I started lifting weights when I was 10. I started lifting weights because I saw the Guinness Book of World Records. And I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Mr. Olympia. Oh yeah. But you know who else I saw? Who's that? Lee Haney. Oh yeah, Lee Haney was a man. We used to follow him a lot. Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, 8 times. 8 times. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I was like, I want to be like Lee Haney. So I was doing push-ups, I was lifting weights. So, fast forward to high school, I'm already kind of jacked. Got you. So he was like, "Oh man, come with me." He would take me to lunch after school. I would eat all this protein and all this. And he would take me to the gym.
Oh, he was sculpting you.
So I was lifting weights with the seniors. I'm in ninth
Oh,
grade.
wow. Okay.
About not even a year later, he got hemmed up with some kind of legal trouble and he was gone.
Oh, okay.
My hunger was still there.
Yeah.
But all of the habits around it were now gone. All of the structure around it. So I was still eating like crazy.
Got you.
But then not putting it anywhere, not having that shifted momentum in a particular area.
Yeah.
So then I started again. I still played football. There was other coaches and different things, but it just wasn't the same.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah.
And I gained. I was probably around 325 from age 18 on up, right?
Oh, okay.
And then, as we get older, I go to the doctor and, I'm doing all right. I'll eat salad.
Yeah.
Right? The doctor always bring me up.
Yeah.
So then this one time I saw Dr. Jet and I thought there was an issue with my kidney. And, we ran some tests and stuff. And he's like, "All right, there's nothing wrong with your kidney." I said, "Okay, whew, good. Let me get out of here."
Right.
Wait. Hold on a second. Here we go again. Let's talk about this weight.
You know it's coming, right?
It's coming. I already got my lines prepared. And he was like, "All right, well, we need to lose weight. We need to lose weight now." And I was like, "Hey, doc, yeah, I'm gonna eat some salad. I got a plan." He was like, "Okay." I said, "Look, I feel fine. My cholesterol's great. My blood pressure's great. Come on, man. You gotta give me something." He was like, "Okay, you feel good."
Yeah.
I said, "All right. How does your spleen feel?"
Uh-huh.
I said, "My spleen, doc. I don't know what a spleen is, nor do I know what a spleen does."
Right.
He went on to tell me the importance of the spleen, cleaning the blood, fighting disease, all kind of stuff. And he was like, "Internal organs like your spleen are under extreme duress due to your weight. It's what we call the silent killer. Because they don't have pain receptors like everywhere else.
Got you.
By the time you start feeling pain from these organs, it's too late."
Oh, wow.
And that like shook me to my core. Like,
Man, you
oh
just
my
scared
God.
me. I'm ready to go to the doctor today. Let's go.
Right.
Man.
And
Wow.
I'm in the office. I started muttering to myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Listen, if you can change your habits, you can change your life."
There we go.
And I really didn't even hear him. I heard him, but I didn't hear him.
Uh-huh.
So I went on and I go home and I'm like, "Oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?" I gotta, I'm going outside my mind. And then I sat back for a second. I was like, he did say something about habits, change your habits. Like, all right, now I really gotta listen to the doctor.
Got
So I
you.
started reading all these books on habit formation, Charles Duhigg, James Clear, BJ Fogg, just to name a few. And I started learning about habits and how they work, and why they're important, and how to hack habits. And I started implementing these things.
Yeah.
Right? Because before, you name a diet, I've been on it, baby.
Got you, right?
Got
you. Yeah. Yeah.
South Beach.
30 days with no carbs on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Keto.
Got you. Yeah.
And none of it worked, but it wasn't about the diet itself. It was about my lack of consistency.
Yeah.
Right. It was the behaviors I was trying to implement were ultimately too big.
Yeah.
And that's, what I try to teach now is really start tiny, because I clung to Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg and his teachings, because his teachings and his research was based in science.
Okay.
Right. You hear a lot of people talk about habits, and we can get into all the myths about habits, but BJ does the science. He's currently the lead researcher at Stanford University. Right now at the Behavior Design Lab. Like, you call over there.
He's the man. Right? All right.
So anyway, I implemented these things. I started eating right, eating differently, doing different things, starting small, and I lost over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I could get on the roller coasters. I could walk for more than 10 minutes without leaning on something. I could tie my shoes. It was great.
Right.
And then Dr. Jet got off my back.
Yeah.
Not all the way, but definitely backed up.
Yeah.
So then I said to myself, man, I would really like to help people, and I want to help people become the best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
So I want to help others with these tiny habits. So I worked along with BJ Fall. He became my mentor.
Okay.
He trained me. I became a Tiny Habit certified coach.
All right.
And I've been able to help people all over the world build tiny habits, from Holland to Australia, to Germany, to Prague, to some parts of Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Like I've helped people all over the world, via online and obviously people in the US to build new habits and really understand how habits and behavior works. That's the key to it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think if we look at habits, right, you get where you are because of your habits, right? Good or bad.
Absolutely.
And I think when you're talking about eating, I always go back to, because I love to eat.
Oh, yeah.
But, growing up, we grew up in an age where what's on your plate, you eat.
Exactly.
You eat, you don't get up from the table till you eat. And so that's creating a habit that's not good in the end, right?
Yeah. Especially in our community.
Yeah.
I mean, keep eating until it's full. No, you don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to eat unless you're actually hungry.
Yeah, there we go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of things that have been passed down. Oftentimes, I'm a behavioral purist where I try not to look at anything as really a good, or there are universal things that are good and bad habits,
Right.
that people think. But I focus on the behavior itself.
Yeah.
Now, some people would say, well, smoking and alcohol are inherently bad habits because they're bad for you. Well, for some, you could say that.
Yeah.
But some people might not necessarily consider that a bad habit. So that's why I focus really on the behavior itself.
Okay. So what's driving that habit or that need for that habit?
Right. So that's the key, right? So that when it comes to any behavior that you have,
yeah.
Right? Again, this is based on BJ's science and research, and he did over 40,000 studies over 12 years.
Okay.
Right? All behavior takes place when three things come together at the same time.
Okay.
Motivation, ability, and prompt. Right?
Motivation, ability, and prompt.
Motivation, ability, and prompt.
Okay.
Right? If you look at it on a scale, right? So if you've got a line graph, right? So you got it vertically, you look at this as motivation.
Yeah.
On this horizontal line, you've got ability.
Okay.
Right? And then there's a curve that goes like this here.
All right.
That's the action line.
Okay.
Okay. Now, certain behaviors you need a lot of motivation to do.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Even if they're hard to do.
Right.
Right? So for example, and that speaks to ability being hard to do.
Okay.
So let's say your house is on fire, your kid's inside, right?
Right.
That's hard to do, to run in there and, run into the fire, but you're highly motivated.
Exactly.
So you're going to be above that action line. You're going to go in, right?
Yes.
On the flip side, right? If you've got high motivation and hard to do, conversely, you've got low motivation, easy to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Brushing one tooth, if you're trying to, you know what I mean? Or flossing one tooth.
Yes.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Right? Flossing one tooth. Take less than 30 seconds to floss one tooth.
Right.
You don't need a whole lot of motivation to do that.
Right.
It's very, very easy to do. And that's the key right there.
Yeah.
What we want to do is create behaviors that are so easy to do.
Got you.
That you can't say no.
Yeah, because it's even though it's easy to do, people procrastinate and never do it. And so we got to overcome that mindset right there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's the motivation. You understand that? That's your drive to do something.
Yeah.
Then you have your ability to do something, and then there's a prompt.
Got you.
A prompt is something that says, do this thing right now.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
There's external prompts.
Yeah.
There's internal prompts, and then there's action prompts.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, external prompt might be you're at a red light.
Yeah.
Light turns green. External prompt, it's time to go.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
All behavior happens when three things come together.
Right.
Right? Motivation to go, your ability to hit the gas and go, and the prompt.
Got you. Yes.
Every single behavior you have. Now, internal prompts are more emotion related.
Okay.
Thought, you have to think about it, or you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
So you got to do this thing, right? a lot of people try to build their habits and new routines based off those two types of prompts.
Okay.
And they're unsustainable.
Right.
The best way, based again on the research, to build a new habit is through action-related prompts.
Okay.
So what does that mean? An action prompt is based on what we would call an anchor behavior, right?
Okay.
So some of my anchor behaviors, for example, as soon as I get up in the morning, I put my feet on the floor. I do that every morning.
Right.
That's a behavior that's happening every single morning.
Eventually,
I missed
right?
one yet.
Right.
There's brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
There's turning on my Keurig, right? I do
Yeah.
the same things every morning.
Right.
Now, those are already set in stone. These are things I already do.
Yeah.
The idea is to tie a new behavior to those already established routines.
Okay. So you're just blending something else into that.
Exactly.
So let's say step 5 or something like that is what you're making it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the key when it comes to actually doing certain behaviors.
Yeah.
Right? But even breaking the tiny habits method down a little bit more, so you've got, the BMAP, motivation, ability, and prompt.
Mm-hmm.
We got that. And here's another way to kind of look and discern what that means, right?
Okay.
So you think about, we'll do a thought exercise.
Okay.
So you got a cell phone. Has there ever been a time you didn't answer your cell phone?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right? Yes.
So I want you to think about the reasons you didn't answer your cell phone. Right.
Right.
The reasons you didn't answer. There's a couple of different reasons.
Yeah.
Right?
I had something going on. The person I was with.
Let's think about
Yeah.
this. So I want you to put your left hand up if it's, I was in a meeting, I was in the shower, I didn't hear the phone, something like that. Right?
Yeah.
You had those kind of reasons. So
Right.
I want you to raise your right hand if it was, I saw the person in the window. The phone was across the room.
Right.
So
I need some me time. Yeah.
So, or I'm not in the mood to talk to anybody.
Yeah. I just want to put it up there. It wasn't when you called, baby. Just want to let you know. Well, when you call.
Right. So with your left hand, when it comes to those meetings, in the shower, all that kind of stuff, that's ability.
Gotcha.
That was your ability to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Whereas on the flip side, I didn't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like talking to anybody. That speaks to the motivation.
Got
So
you.
the phone ringing is the prompt.
Right.
Now, where is the motivation, and then where is the ability to answer the phone?
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
All right. So we got that part of it down. That's all behavior. I want to drive that home
Yeah.
with everybody. There's not any behavior that's happening on the planet that doesn't involve these three things.
All right.
So now when we think about the tiny habits method, right?
Okay.
The first things first is to identify what it is that you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? What new behavior do you want? What is the goal, right?
Right.
An aspiration.
Yeah.
Then you've got to shrink it down,
Got you.
right? I remember when I was years ago, I was like, I'm gonna do 50 push-ups a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 push-ups a day. Go big or go home.
Right. There we go. Right.
That's what we was taught, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we was taught.
That's one of your blogs you put up too. I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
So I started first day, 50 push-ups.
Mm.
Second day, cooking. Third day, it was over. I'm done.
Oh, the pain in this.
Third day, it was over. I'm done.
How long would you sit and talk to yourself? I don't know if I'm gonna do these. Maybe I'm gonna take a day off today. Maybe I'm gonna get back at it tomorrow.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that just completely fell off. Right?
Yeah.
But what's the smallest version of that behavior? Doing one push-up,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Doing one push-up is the tiny. It might even that's a tiny version, but we could even make it smaller than that.
Okay.
We could say getting down in the push-up position and just doing like a 3-second plank.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
tiny.
Right.
Super easy to do is the focus.
Right.
So-
Tiny victories lead to habit forming, right? And
Exactly.
momentum shifts. I like it. Yeah.
So then, next step, right? We just talked about the prompts and the anchors, right?
Mhm.
So you anchor that new tiny behavior to something already in your routine. So you brush your teeth every morning.
Yeah.
After I brush my teeth, I'll do one push-up.
There we go. All right.
After I brush my teeth, I'll do one push-up. After I use the bathroom, I'll do one push-up. After I put my feet on the floor in the morning, I do my one push-up, or whatever behavior it is. Maybe it's gratefulness, maybe it's breathing, maybe it's a few minutes of meditation. Or whatever. But the idea is anchoring that new tiny behavior to an already established routine.
Yeah. I think I've seen it where you can move it into the financial world as well, right? You see it so many times. You put $1 away a day or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but you put $1 away, and then the next day you put $2 away, and they just keep building up over the time, something like that, which is pretty cool.
I was at a conference this weekend for the Maryland Correctional Administration Association, and I was giving a talk about change, right?
Okay.
Embracing change and transformative leadership. And, I talked a bit about tiny habits as well. And afterwards, a gentleman came up and he was like, man, I'm trying to, I got to stop spending. I'm trying to, I'm spending too much money on stuff. And then I realized, I said, okay, well, you're talking about breaking a habit.
Right.
And while that's, that's a different conversation, let's figure it out, right? Let's see what we can do, that you can start small. So fast forward, where did we get to? What you were saying. He said, look, we can put away $25 every time I get paid, right?
Yeah.
Put away $25. I'm not going to miss that $25.
Right.
Right. My whole paycheck, I'm not going to miss that.
Yes, that's a trip to McDonald's if you got a family.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's lunch.
Yeah.
So, and what happens is, over time, you can be like, oh, I can do 50. I can do 100. Because if you started out with putting $300 away, you're gonna miss that.
Right off the bat. It's like psychologically, you're gonna be find a way. We need to go back and get that.
Like push-ups.
Yeah.
You start too big.
Yeah.
You start small, it starts to build. And he was excited. He was pumped. So, I was happy that I was able to help him out with that.
And it goes with that saying, what is it? How do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? Yeah, makes sense. So what is it that drives you? Because I'm very curious. I love understanding why people do what we do, why we do what we do. What is it that drives you with that?
In terms of
the behavioral, so I guess there's a lot of cognitive biases and cognitive behavior that you're looking at as well.
Oh yeah. So while I was in high school, right, one of my nicknames, as I had many, but one of them was Dr. Phil.
All right.
Because people would always...
The largest gap an individual will face is the gap that stands between where they are now and what they could become. So the question becomes, are you willing to climb? The greatest trick the mind will ever pull is convincing you that your greatness does not exist. Mama used to say, she said, Eric, what you do in the dark will come out in the light. And she means that you reap what you sow. You get what you put in. So you got to put the work in. Why? Because you're going to step your game up and tap into that untapped potential of yours and become the greatest person you can possibly become. I woke up, I was about to lose everything. Yeah. And so my wife was about to leave me, and that meant my 3 children were going to be gone, which really hurt me because I would fall short on the promise to my kids, where I told them that I was their father. Nobody would ever be in their house taking care of them. Nobody would be responsible for them. They never had to worry about calling anybody daddy but me. Momentum shift. When you get stuck, you got to find a way to get going. And that is all about elevating your performance. You have to realize that high-level results are not products of low-level effort. So you got to step your game up. So you get stuck, you got to get yourself moving. And when you're down in the dumps, you're the only one that's going to be there. So you got to be all right. What happens is when you don't realize that you have all that you ever need to create the life that you want to live, you're missing out. You're standing at the base of that mountain thinking and hoping somebody's going to save you when all you got to do is take action. Theodore Roosevelt said, he said that the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena with their face marred in dust with sweat and blood. You got to get into the arena, claim your moment, take the opportunity to take your shot. Then when you're in that arena, think about this.
Not here.
Step my game up.
Eric's message was extremely powerful.
The power of overcoming is not just connected to you. You're rising because the people behind you are counting on you. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
That's being skills to presentation and marketing. But then I actually
it's just like each step you making is setting you up for the next step, which was the ultimate goal, or eventually, right? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So, I joined Toastmasters, and I was. Are you familiar with Toastmasters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I joined Toastmasters, and I'm a DTM in Toastmasters. I just competed in the international speech contest. I won second place. I think I should have been first, but who doesn't? Right? But anyway,
Right. Can't accept defeat. There's no way.
What?
It's a competitor.
It was one day, and it's funny because you know my wife, right?
Yeah.
So one day back in like 2013, she was like, "Hey, do you want to come and speak to the students?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't really want to do that." She was like, "All right, Case, no problem. I'll have Lance, another friend of ours who he does speaking." So a few weeks go by, and I was like, "Hey, how did the event go?" And all that. She was like, "Oh, it was great. Lance came out, he talked to the children, and they had a good time." I said, "Oh, okay, cool." She was like, "Yeah, I paid him about $1,500." I said, "What? You didn't tell me about $1,500. What are you talking about? You said for the kids. You didn't say you paid. You didn't say
Right.
So then come to find out, people were getting paid to speak." And I said, "What? That's what I need to do."
Yeah. Get paid to speak. Yeah.
But I didn't know what I was going to talk about. This is very early in my career, because I worked for Target for about 15 years.
Okay.
Right. I was a high level executive. My last role was the Ellicott City store.
All right.
So it was a $62 million store. I had 275 team members, 12 team leaders, 6 executives. I was the campus recruiter from the University of Maryland, because I graduated from the University of Maryland. I was the district trainer for new executives, the regional trainer for front-end executives. I was working 98 hours a week, 90 plus hours a week, all the time. And, I had to, get out of it. But Target taught me a lot about leadership. And I was like, "Oh, I want to talk about leadership." But it wasn't until I had this life-changing experience with habit formation and BJ Fogg and all of this stuff where I was like, "This is it." Michael Jackson say,
"This is it," right? Yeah, it just connected with you, right?
It changed my life. It changed how I view everything about what it is we do. Because I would talk to people, from a psychological level, their motivations and different things like that, and confidence, and, things like that. But when I broke it down to behavior, and I was actually, again, helping people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's one thing, so there's helping someone realize their true potential, but then someone is struggling. And you help steer them in a direction, and they just can't stop thanking you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. And I don't do it for the thanks. I do it for the change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was looking at your website, and there was a gentleman on there, XTT CEO. I can't remember his name, and he was talking about how you transformed his ability to speak and just helped him change his life. And I think it's great to be able to make that impact, and have people come to you to do that. So I wanted to touch on your program. The one I was looking at was Tiny Mighty Habits for Inspired Health, Wellness, and Productivity. Because I don't know if that's the one he went through or if he went through a total different one. But I wanted to talk about that because I think when we look at goal setting and we look at moving forward in our life, and even just having a goal to go for, is important. So how does that play in that mindset?
So here's the thing. I'm not even a big fan of goals, to be honest.
All right.
I'm not a big fan of goals. I get it. It's good to have a North Star.
Got you. Okay.
North Star, that's the direction you want to go.
Yeah.
The problem with goals oftentimes is people are too hyper-focused on it.
Okay.
Let's bring it down to another level. Let's think about the scale, right?
All right.
I want to lose 20 pounds, they say.
Right.
So they're hopping on the scale every other day, ignoring everything else.
Yeah.
And if the scale don't move, I'm failing.
Yeah.
Even though I ate right, I was on my exercise, I drank my water, I did all these things.
Right.
Because the scale didn't move, I failed.
Yeah.
Lacking the understanding that your body weight is going to fluctuate from day to day.
Right.
But the key thing is that they're focused on that goal.
Yeah.
Right. Now, we don't rise, and my man James Clear said this, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems.
Okay.
And the most important system is habit formation.
All right.
When you develop the consistency, let's say, for example, drinking water, I'll just say.
Yeah.
If your goal is to get a gallon of water, drink a gallon of water a day, that's already, if you don't do anything else and you drink a gallon of water a day,
right,
you will automatically lose weight.
Got you.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Because one, your body is going to flush out excess water.
Right.
Two, you're going to be more full and satiated, so you're not even going to eat as much.
Yeah.
Three, your cells are going to be more hydrated. You're going to have more energy, which means you're going to move even more. It's going to help. It's going to help your blood sugar level. I mean, that's just drinking the water.
Got you. Yeah.
Right? So, focusing on the systems is the key.
Okay.
Right. And so those programs, that program, that's a talk that I give, I've given to associations, government agencies, where we talk about, again, first of all, how to build habits, what habits are, why, kind of what we went over.
Right.
But then also specifically in their department, in their organization, what habits they need to implement.
Yeah.
Right? So we're talking about leadership, for example. What are the habits of a good leader?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we'll start digging into that.
Yeah.
And we're talking about active listening.
Right.
We're talking about building a culture of respect and accountability.
Right.
We're talking about building a culture of open communication and what that really looks like, right?
Yeah.
Building a culture around embracing change as opposed to resisting it.
Right.
You know, and how we do those things.
Yeah.
So and those, again, are behaviors that a leader can consistently do, right?
Yep.
That will lead to cultural change and transformative change within the organization.
Yeah.
So those are the type of things in that particular talk. Now, another thing when we talk about health and wellness, the things that I hit on in terms of health and wellness, I don't dig too much because I'm not a certified dietitian or anything like that.
Got you.
That's not what I mean.
Right.
I mean focusing on your mental health and awareness.
Got you.
I mean work-life balance.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Avoiding burnout.
Mm-hmm.
I mean setting boundaries.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean by health and wellness in that specific talk, because those things should be regarded at the same level of intensity and vigor as eating and exercise.
Yeah, I think I saw that in one of your blogs, put you on the calendar, right? Very important, right? Because most of the time people go through and they have these breakdowns and heart attacks because they haven't put the time in on themselves, and they're committed to, I think we were talking about it the other day, at work, somebody had mentioned how they were a contractor and they had gotten fired, and they were so committed and they put all this time in the job and everything else as though it was theirs, that they owned it, and they were hurt, laid off. And they're like, all the time I put in, coming in on the weekends, and they were wearing their body down, giving it up for the job. What happens? They move you out and put somebody else in.
They will replace you. As I was Mr. Target.
Got you.
Listen to me when I tell you.
He said, Mr. Target.
Don't want the target with me because I will stop the manager.
Okay. Yeah.
Right here. The shelf.
You still there, huh?
Signs, and I ain't worked for Target 5 years and still do. Hey, come here. I need you to send your front guy outside. The trash is overflowing.
You want it, huh? Don't let me call such and such.
Yeah. I go into the back room. All right. Y'all looking good back here. Yeah.
We used to laugh because we would go into Target, and we didn't work in Target. We never worked in Target. But for people would always come up to me, excuse me, you work here? Can you tell me where to find it? Yeah, it's over there.
So the
burnout is real.
it is very, very real. And that's the thing with working so much and so hard. Focusing on this energy to make all this money.
Yeah.
That's the goal. We want to make all this
Make
money.
all the money, yeah.
And then we get older and we spend all this money trying to keep ourselves healthy.
Yeah,
Right? But
yeah.
the thing about the target piece is no matter how missed the target I was, if I died, they would replace me the next day.
Give him his vest. We'll put somebody else in one.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I even remember when I left. I mean, the district leader, where she was highly upset, but she caused the problem in the first place. I believe that people don't leave organization to leave poor leadership.
Yes, they do. Right? Yes, they will in a heartbeat.
That's what I was dealing with, so I walked away. I remember she was literally, I'm not joking, she was on her knees in the HR office, please.
Really? Because she knew she was gonna have to step her game up.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But sure enough, within about a week or two, they had somebody else in it. Because I lived right near the store, so I had a good time.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to see that.
Yeah. But it takes a while, like you said, the process. You got to be in the process. And I think I like what you said, is put it in the system. Because it's really what it comes down to, right? If I'm going to be successful at something, I'm going to be disciplined, I'm going to be consistent at doing something every day, the same way. I may tweak it here and there, but it's the same routine pretty much, right? On a daily basis. Yeah. And when you look at what you were doing in school while you were jacked up and everything else, it's because the system you put in place. Exactly. And when the system breaks, you break. The whole
That's exactly what happened. He had the system.
Yeah.
He was boom. I was doing this. I mean, down to my workouts.
Yeah.
He had the whole system going.
Right.
I didn't know how to do all these things.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the other guys were already jealous of me. So when I get in there, they didn't want to help me.
They don't want to talk to you.
They didn't want to see me fail.
Yeah, exactly. I think and so that's the key too. As you get into the process and your system's in place and it's working, you have to pay close attention here, right? And on what's going on and take notes, because like you said, that person that's driving it, they happen to go away the next day. Now it's that self-leadership. Exactly. Right? How are you going to lead yourself? And if you can't lead yourself and the system's broken or you can't keep the system going, and then eventually you fall off, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get that inconsistency, that wave.
Yeah.
And it becomes a problem, right? Yeah. What gets monitored gets managed, right?
Yeah.
So you got to constantly self-monitor, whether that's in a professional realm or in a personal realm.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it too is about your environment.
Yeah.
When I say environment, I'm including your physical environment, but it's also who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
This is another habit that a lot of young people miss out on. They're like, oh, these are my friends.
Yeah.
I check my kids every time. Oh, my friend told me,
yeah.
who?
Right.
Oh, Johnny. Okay, Dylan is your friend.
Yeah.
Dylan got your back.
Right.
Dylan can come over the house.
Right.
I don't know who Johnny is.
Exactly.
Cut all that shit. That is a classmate.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. We have a hard time understanding that everybody's our friend until you realize no, they're not.
Until things get tight.
Yeah.
But also think about it like this, and I tell young people all the time. So listen. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
There we go. Yeah.
Number two, let me tell you the levels of the game here. Let's say you surround yourself with 5 people that make $20,000 a month.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good room.
Yeah, that's a nice room. Yeah.
Until you get in a room with people who make $20,000 a day.
There we go. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
That's huge.
Right?
Yes.
As opposed to people you just keeping around you just because you know them since you was young.
Right.
Y'all live in the same thing. If they ain't, and here's the other thing too, people have to challenge you.
Yeah.
If your friends are not challenging you to be better,
right.
Forget about it. Find some new friends. It ain't that hard.
No, it's not.
It ain't that hard.
It's not.
People
that
are gonna challenge you.
Yeah, that was a big change. So 30 years old, getting out of the military, father, we've been married, 10 years we've been married. And it's like, I don't even know what I want to do. I thought I was doing the right thing, going to work every day, and you just wasn't happy. And so until somebody woke you up, say, hey man, you can change things. And so in doing that, like you said, you start changing the friends. But about those people pleasers, right? You're like, well, I'm gonna break away. No, I don't want to hurt the feelings. That's a challenge, right?
That's a whole But here's the thing. That's another level of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Some people are people pleasers and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
That was me too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why? It wasn't because I was just good
Uh-huh.
that I was the campus director, to this, to that. I didn't know how to say no.
Right.
I wanted to make everybody happy. That means they're gonna do for me.
Right.
No, they're just gonna keep piling on your back.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you live your life trying to please everybody else,
Yeah.
you're ultimately gonna burn yourself out.
Oh heck yeah.
And then you'll continue to blame yourself.
Yeah.
I wasn't good enough. And it just spirals.
Yeah.
It just spirals. Then you got now you're really beating yourself up.
Yeah. And I think if you're married and you allow that to trickle in,
Oh, it can really
they can mess some stuff up.
I remember when we were first married, this years ago. We were still newlyweds, and we went to a Valentine's party or something. I don't know. But it was a whole event, right? So we go to this event, what have you. You know, we're eating, I'm doing the electric slide. And then at one point, the DJ gets up and he says, okay, all the married people stand up. So everybody stand up. He said, all right, you're married 5 years, keep standing. And people start sitting down. 10 years, keep standing. People start sitting down. 20 years. And they got all the way down, and there was a couple that was married 57 years.
Wow.
Older gentleman and his wife, 57 years. So being a newlywed, I was like, let me get the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Let me see what my man is talking about. So I went over to him and I said, hey, this distinguished gentleman, I said, so tell me, you know, what's the secret to 57 years? You've been married twice as long as I've been alive. Longer.
Right.
And he was like, listen, very simple. When we first got married, we made a decision. They said, when it comes to big decisions and choices, I would make the decision. When it came to little decisions and choices, she would make the decision. 57 years, we ain't had a big decision yet. Oh, this is literally what he said to me. And then he was like,
I like it.
He said, no, seriously, it came down to effective communication.
Yeah.
And really listening as opposed to waiting for your turn to talk.
Yeah.
And understanding that the 50-50 is not real. Some days are gonna be 90-10, some days are gonna be 40-60, right?
Yeah.
And that's in all things. That's not just monetarily.
Right.
That's, you know, the kids and then the house and then, you know, it's not always gonna be 50. Matter of fact, it's rarely gonna be 50.
Right. Yeah.
So you really, you know, go into it with that understanding and being, you know, having that open communication. So I took that, right?
Yeah.
And we've been married for 19 years.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, that same understanding and listening and having that open communication applies to every relationship that you have, whether it's work or personal.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it, man. I'm big on communicating, connecting with people, man. 'Cause I love people too, and I have to battle that. People, hey, can you? Nah, nah. I know I got some other things I have to do this on the schedule that's more important.
Yeah.
I can't push my stuff back for yours. It'll hold me back. So it's a definite saying no is a challenge for. And they'll do all kind. Oh, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, yeah. You know I love you. Oh, come on. Yeah.
And some people, it's about they don't want to just say no. I can't help you.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well, let's teach you how to say no. Respect.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have time on my calendar to take care of that.
There we go.
Maybe at another time we can revisit it. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to just. I mean, I would just say no.
No.
Easily.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, but I ain't gonna be able to do it. I've developed my leadership to that level.
Yeah.
Because here's the crazy part. At Target, I'm working 90 hours a week. I'm like, it's Target. Gotta get out of here. I leave Target.
Yeah.
And then this was the camel or the straw, whatever you said. I thought everything was normal. Just working 90 hours, working myself to death. I thought it was normal.
Okay.
And I was drinking the Kool-Aid all day long.
Yeah.
And one day I came home, it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. My wife was smiling. I was like, okay, this is good. And as I got closer, I was like, why? Her eyes don't look the same as her mouth. Like, I don't think she's really smiling. So then she was like, where you been? I was like, I'm red and khaki.
Yeah.
I've been at work. What you telling me? So you haven't been here since yesterday. I said, what do you mean?
Oh, wow.
I said, what? When I did the math, I worked for 28 hours straight.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even really.
You didn't even know you that committed. Wow.
Yeah.
You were all
like
in.
I was talking about your man.
Yeah.
That's how my team members were going home.
And you just kept rolling.
Back to work.
Wow.
And I was
You rolling.
So I was like, this is it. So I left and I started working for a company called Cintas.
Okay.
Cintas does uniforms.
Yeah.
So I was doing sales. I was supervising like the guys that were running the trucks and doing different things. I was doing it again.
It was in there. It was ingrained.
I was at 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
I remember being in my office. They're like, I go home. I'm like, I got work to do.
Yeah.
What y'all doing?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that's when I realized it wasn't Target. It was
Ty. Huh? Yeah.
That was the.
Yeah.
And that's so many people out there right now that think that it's the job. It's not the job.
Yeah, it's you.
Right? It's you. And if it's not, because they're gonna try to push you.
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. They don't care.
The key thing about you is being able to say no.
Right. Yeah.
Just like you said, learning how to say no is the key.
Yeah.
To not only not suffering from burnout, but even mental health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can still do a great job within your 40 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or however many it is.
Right.
Your scheduled time frame. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You don't have to do all this extra stuff.
So were you somebody who just looked at what you had, your to-do list, and you're like, oh, I'm only on number 8. I still got 15 more to go. I can't leave until this to-do list is over with. Man, is that you?
The to-do list is longer than this table. There's never
right. Right.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. The to-do list just never stopped. Even when I would have days where I'm like, okay, everything's done. Now I'm looking for something else.
Oh, something to add to the list.
Project
that dopamine, huh?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not how it happened. Because then I never felt the sense of completion.
Got you.
I never took a pause to say, okay, you did a good job.
Yeah.
It was always like, nah, you're not done.
What's next? What's next? Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
Hey, Momentum Shift podcast and radio show listeners, this is your host, C. Eric Collier, and I've got something for you. I want to share this game-changing streaming service with you. Go to LRODTVnetwork.com. That's LRODTVnetwork.com. It's a minority-owned streaming channel that's got it all. Exclusive talk shows, podcasts, and live streams you won't find anywhere else. And the best part, it's affordable. Just $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year. But as a special thank you to my amazing listeners, use the code SHIFT at sign up to get 25% off until August the 1st, 2024. And now it's only $4.50 for your first month or $45 for your first year. And guess what else they're giving you? They're giving you a 7-day free trial to try it out. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. Head over to LRODTVnetwork.com. That's LRODTVnetwork.com and sign up now. Trust me, your entertainment routine will thank you. Are you still here? Hey, go to LRODTVnetwork.com and get signed up right now. Welcome to the Momentum Shift, a show where we get inspired, get moving, and get results. My name is Eric Collier. I'm a veteran of the United States Army and Navy. I'm a 2-time Amazon International best-selling co-author, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I love helping people, and I love coaching people. And I've done that successfully for over 20 years because I really want to see people win. And there is no greater feeling of joy than to witness someone who has just experienced that aha moment go on and change their lives and start doing what they thought was impossible and turning it into what is possible for them. So my goal, my mission each week is to simply do this: help improve lives. That's all I want to do. Help you improve your life, because you deserve to live in the greatness that is you. So I'm really grateful to have you join me. I'm looking forward to having your feedback and helping to improve the show. And the one thing I'm really grateful about is I get to hear your stories of how you created that momentum shift that changed your life. So get ready, because the momentum shift is what you've been waiting for.
Thank you for joining The Momentum Shift, a show bringing you interviews and stories of incredible people to help you get inspired, get moving, and get results to ultimately create the life-changing momentum shift that will improve your life. Join host Eric Collier, the mayor of motivation and mental quicksand expert, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for The Momentum Shift, the show and change you've been looking for.